Hello and welcome back. Today we are moving on to the Green Bay Packers, who finished second place in an unprecedented fashion that had them going 9-7-1. The Green Bay Packers made it all the way to the 7th seed and finished as a wild card spot, where they eventually lost to the division champion Chicago Bears in a dramatic overtime fashion. The Packers, despite having everything, did put up a good season. However, there are some questions to be answered when having head coach Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love need to find out what needs to be improved further on. For me, there are a lot of questions that I would like to say, but I think the biggest one they have to fix is the wide receiver room. But for now, let's take a look at what the Packers did in free agency to help them out. For the free agent market, the Green Bay Packers were not that very productive in signing players. However, they did make whatever signings they could do. They started off by trading away defensive lineman Colby Wooden in return for linebacker Zaire Franklin from the Colts. They also did sign free agent wide receiver Sky Moore to help bring some life to the wide receiver room. They also re-signed Sean Ryan to help beef the offensive line in, and signed defensive lineman Javon Hargrave and cornerback Benjamin Jesus for the secondary as well. The Packers brought in at least one player for almost every spot to these positions, and they'll be looking forward for the NFL draft to fill in the rest. The Packers' focus coming into this draft is that they need to fix the wide receiver room. Even with the return of Christian Watson being the wide receiver 1 from injury, and the selection of Matthew Golden last year, along with Sky Moore brought in this year, it's not enough to fix the receiver room, especially with the fact that they traded away Dontavian Wicks to the Philadelphia Eagles for a 5th round pick this year and a 6th rounder next year, and Romeo Doubs left the team to sign with the New England Patriots. So they're looking forward to finding out how to fix the receiving room and bringing more of the players back to them. And in the meantime then, this mock draft for the Packers does answer a lot of good questions for them, so let's take a look at how this mock draft turns out. In my mock draft for Green Bay, they have a total of 7 picks. With no first rounder this year, they'll be looking forward to the second round. In the second round, they'll be drafting defensive lineman Christian Miller from Georgia to help beef the D-line with Colby Wooden gone. They would also draft Julian Neal, the cornerback out of Arkansas, to help improve the secondary further, as it struggled towards the end of the year, and especially got beat out during the wildcard match. They would draft another offensive guard in Cage Casey for the O-line, and bring some edge help in the Dame Tucker to help out the edge position with Micah Parsons still recovering. Then the late rounds is where they would find 2 wide receivers in Tyler Montgomery and Aaron Anderson between the 6th and 7th rounds, and bring another linebacker to learn behind Zaire Franklin in Scooby Williams out of Texas A&M. All these positions are addressed through the draft to help them improve the positions and bring some more depth to the spot, since they couldn't do enough in free agency. The Packers definitely have a wide variety of positions to choose from, but I believe this kind of way, in terms of the positions, not by the players, will be really good for them to address the defensive line early and then bring in some more wide receiver help later on. In any case then, the Packers have a lot of good players in their positions, and they can still compete in a nice division between the Bears, the Vikings, and the Lions, but it's tough to say if whether these teams can rebound from back to their old winning ways, or if they'll regress after this year. But in any case, let's talk about the first 2 selections for the Green Bay Packers between Christian Miller and Julian Neal. Miller being a 6'3", 321-pound defensive tackle, he shows a rare combination of size, strength, and movement skills with the potential to make an impact on every down at the NFL level. He displays pro-ready strength against double teams, violent hands to deliver shocking power, and better lateral movement than any other 300 plus 10-pound defensive tackle in the draft. He's also a sound defender with leverage understanding, relentless effort and extensions can shock blockers, and has excellent lower body power. His high motor has infectious energy to help keep teammates hyped, and his length and mass help wall off running lanes. The defensive line was a big issue for the Green Bay Packers, and with a player like this, he has started to potentially become an instant starter on that defensive front for the Green Bay Packers. As for Julian Neal, a 6'2", 203-pound, he is a physical and imposing cornerback that had a breakout year transferring from Fresno State to Arkansas. He has an ideal size that can match up with bigger X receivers and contest catches. He also excels at blowing up screens with aggression and physicality, and shows versatility to play in multiple coverages and play as a 3-down player. He also displays improved ball skills and playmaking ability, earning 2 interceptions and 6 pass breakups in his breakout year at Arkansas. And his length and catch point skills does help him out in disrupting passing lanes. Julian Neal will definitely be a help to upgrade that cornerback room that desperately needs some help, considering the fact in this division they have no shortage of star wide receivers between the Bears, the Lions, and the Vikings, whose names come up between Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Rome Odunze, and much more. The Packers are a very smart team, and with Matt LaFleur still being the head coach, I believe he'll find a way to find the players that he wants to get and get them drafted for their team. For the expectation, the Packers are still a very high team and they can contend with their division. But seeing how things can get, I do believe the Packers will get another 9-win season again, but they will not make the playoffs that year. Though I do expect a lot of major improvement and development for their defense that certainly needs help at the defensive line, and if Jordan Love can be a better quarterback next year, he can certainly get that next step going and maybe take the Packers even further. That's all the time for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to head to my Instagram channel and look at my final mock draft for the Green Bay Packers, and let me know your thoughts on how it looks before the draft starts. In any case then, please make sure to leave a like and a comment on the video with your thoughts, and make sure to follow me on YouTube, Instagram, and on X. And as always, I will see you next time.